Hey, what's going on, y'all? Sneak back with another video, and today I'm finna can some pears. So here go the setup right here. You know what I'm saying? I got my water bath canner already steaming up. It's gonna be my pot for my jar lids, keep them warm. And there go my pears already sliced up. Fill it up with some water, fresh squeezed lemon juice and lime juice. I use about 2 limes, 2 lemons as well. You see some cinnamon sticks floating up in there. And to sweeten it, this time I'm gonna use honey and agave nectar. I just like a real light syrup, so I don't use a whole lot of sugar. And I got my jars getting ready too. You know what I mean? You want to make sure you clean these real well. I got hot water, some soap. Go ahead and shake them up. Make sure you clean them real well. Make sure you wash them out real well after you get them soaked up real good. So I'm gonna wash these out. I'm gonna get my honey and agave up in the mix, and then we're gonna get this started. Alright, so what you can do after you add either your sugar or whatever you're using to sweeten it up, you can give it a nice stir, but I'm not, because it's gonna do what it do anyway. So after this, I like to bring this to a boil, let the pears themselves boil for about 5 minutes. What that does is it allows the pears to get soft, so that way when you pack your jars and after you actually can them, the pears have already condensed down. So if you do them straight fresh without boiling them first, after you jar it up, you'll notice your pears are gonna condense and they're gonna float to the top, and you're gonna have like an inch to an inch and a half of just, you know, straight juice at the bottom. This way, when you boil them first, you can actually pack your jars, you know, more full, and you're not gonna lose that volume after you get done. So turn this up. I'm gonna let that boil while I give my jars a good rinse. Alright, so for, you know, whatever you're gonna be putting your lids in and keep them warm, you want this water to be hot, but you don't want it boiling. So I usually start it off on medium heat. And remember, for the pears, you want them to boil for 5 minutes. So before they start boiling, you want to keep checking, so that way you can see when they actually start. You want 5 minutes of actual boiling. And if you canning, I hope you got your jar grabber. So once you clean these jars real good, you know what I mean, you're gonna soap them up after you get them washed off real good. And you want to be using hot water, as hot as you can get, that'll be coming out your sink. I fill these up with hot water, and I transfer these straight into my boiling water bath canner. Fill it up with hot water. Sometimes I will start this, you know, turn this eye on a little bit later, so the water isn't boiling just yet. But I fill all these jars up with hot water. I like to have the water, you know, inside of this pot already hot. If you do it cold, that's extremely dangerous, and as soon as you drop your jar in here, it's probably gonna shatter, and you got cleanup on your hands. So make sure, if the water is here hot, you need to be using extremely hot water from, you know, as hot as you can get it from your sink, and then go ahead and drop it in your pot. And at the same time I'm doing that, I'm taking the lids and I'm dropping this in this water. Make sure they fully submerged. Make sure they don't just float at the top. put the ring as well as the lid up in there. So I'm gonna get that done, and at the same time I'll be keeping my eye on these pears to see exactly when they start. Count my 5 minutes, and finish getting all my jars transferred in, and I get back with y'all in a sec. Alright, checking back in, just a couple more things I want to make sure y'all know. For these pears, make sure you already got your lemon or lime juice squeezed into the water already before you start cutting your pears. You want the lemon already squeezed into the water, so that way once you cut them, you drop them straight into the water, and the lemon and lime juice, it prevents your pears from getting brown. You know what I'm saying? From just sitting out in the air. And also your additional tools, you know what I mean? You got your can grabber, you need a nice size spoon or ladle, you know what I mean? And this is gonna be to pack my jars, you know what I'm saying? To pack my jars and debubble. This is like a silicone flipper, you know what I mean? From what I see, you don't necessarily want to use something metal. If you can use something either wooden or, you know what I mean, silicone like this, you'd be better off. And also, the reason that I'm filling these jars up is with water before I put them in here. I don't know if y'all can tell, but my water level right now is right below the lip of my jars. So I purposefully don't fill my you know, this pot all the way up with water, because it's not necessary. Depending on the size jars you're using, you probably don't need all that water. So as I'm putting these jars in, they already got water in them. So as they displace this water, I drop this in, all of these are already full. So as I drop them in, it's gonna bring the water level up. Now, if I start putting these jars in and my water level is, you know, inches high, then I rinse one out and I don't fill it up with water. I just make sure it's nice and hot, you know what I mean? Put the hot water in there from the sink, swirl it around, let it sit for a second, and then you drop an empty jar in, and some of that excess water that's raised all the way above the lip, it's gonna fall into the extra jar. So it's an easy way for me to you know, just make sure you got your water level at the right height, one at about 1 inch to 2 inches above the top of the lids of your jars. So one more check in. Got nice bubbles, but I'm gonna keep that top on because it ain't started bubbling yet. So got some more time before I check back in. Alright, hopefully y'all can see that. Pears are boiling now. So now I'm gonna get us a nice good stir, and our time begins. So after 5 minutes, I'm gonna turn this eye off. I got my lids staying warm up in here, and I got my jars staying warm up in here. Important to keep these warm. So when these pears are ready, I'm gonna be able to one by one take these jars out. They're gonna be nice and hot. Use your tool to lift your jars up, lift them up out of there, bring them off to a side in the area. Then I'm gonna start spooning them pears into the jars. You know what I mean? And they already gonna be hot. The jar's already hot, so when the hot pears drop in them, it'll be no problem. Alright, right about 5 minutes for the pears, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn them off, because as I'm jarring them up, some of them still gonna be sitting in that hot water. But about 4 and some change, almost 5 minutes, so I'll go ahead and turn them off. And now you can one by one take one of these jars out, start scooping some pears into them. Now I got these cinnamon sticks, so what I'm gonna do first is take these cinnamon sticks out, and I'm gonna break them into some little jar size pieces, so I can go ahead and drop one each into the can. Now for the jars, as I take them out, like I said, you know, they were full when I put them in here. Pour that water out right into here. If the water level is nice and where you want it to be. Actually, I think I'm gonna add a little bit more water to this. But boom. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna break up these cinnamon sticks first, because I don't know exactly how hard that's gonna be. So I'm gonna leave that in for a second, and I'm gonna break the cinnamon pieces up into the number of jars I got. Let's see how that goes. There go one of the cinnamon sticks. Pretty much I got 8 jars. So what I'm trying to do is to break each of these sticks into 4 pieces. Oh yeah, this should be nice and easy to break. So show y'all this. So it's nice and flexible now, this cinnamon stick. So first one come this way. Boom. One break. Boom. I break it that way. Boom. So those are nice jar size pieces that I can put in there just for a little bit of extra flair, you know what I mean? Where that other cinnamon stick at? Alright, there we go. Whew, got my other cinnamon stick. And it's hot. I put it down for a second. I'm just gonna bend it back on itself. Boom. Alright, I got 8 nice pieces of cinnamon. One to put at the bottom of each of my jars. So I'm gonna set this off to the side. Alright, and now we're ready to jar it up. So let's try this again. We're gonna take the first jar out. As we take it out, we pour that water straight into the canning pot. I put that fog. Bring it over to a nice area that you know, either a towel or some cardboard or something, because the jars are hot. So first jar, starting out with a piece of cinnamon, put it right, and actually I'm gonna wait a second before I put that in there. But you just start scooping them pears in. Don't make a mess. Do it slow if you need to. Don't worry about, you're just going for the pears right now. You're gonna make sure it's topped off with your juice or syrup later, after you fill all your jars with pears. You know, a little bit of juice gonna be going in as you're filling them up, but you're pretty much gonna have to top them off at the end. So send them about halfway. I put my cinnamon piece in right there on the side so you can see it. Look nice, a little flare. Then you filling them up. Now you turn your pears off, but you want to keep your other eyes on. You still want this to be on, and if you see it start to bubble a little bit like mine is right now, you just turn it down a little bit. You still have your jars staying nice and hot and warm. You don't want that you know, bubbling out of control, but if it's bubbling, boiling, it'll be fine. Boom. So that's the first one filled up. Let me really get in there so y'all can see where I'm filling this up to. Boom. So right below this line is where I got it, or right up to this line. Boom. So I'm gonna do that with the rest of the jars, and then I usually pack them down, fill with water, debubble, then we ready to throw them in the water bath canner. Alright, so that's what we're looking like. Got a nice little piece of cinnamon stick up in each one, and like I said, I want to pack these down, and I still got some more pears left in there, maybe for another round. Some smaller jars, but sometimes once you pack them down, it'll make some space for more pears to pack in here. So what I do, I just go around the sides of each one first, and then I push down in the middle, and you can see it's kind of clearing up some space below that line, so I can add a couple more. So I do that for all of them, pack them down, and just you know, if I need to fill some more pears in, which it look like all of them are gonna need a few more after packing down, then I do that. So I'm gonna get these all packed down, top them off again, then we juice them. Alright, filled back to my line, and pack down a little, you know, just the top. Once I do this for the second time, I just press the top down, and the rest of it's already packed. So now we filling in that juice, and we filling it up to that same line. So I had to come with my little ladle. And get just about to it. About just to that line, and that'll be fine for now. Because remember, gotta debubble. So get all of these, like I said, right about to it. Alright. Now we debubble. So similar, or pretty much the same technique as you used packing it. Go around the outside first, and hopefully y'all can see when you go around there, them bubbles coming up out of there, going to the top. After I go around the outside, I like to go right down through the center, twist a little bit, boom, and then come on top and press it down. And then after I do that to all of them, I'm gonna come back, and you see it's lost some space between that line. Fill it back up to that line. So we're gonna debubble all these. Let's see if y'all can get some good bubbles. See it from this one. Yeah, y'all can see that. And that just gets the air out of there, out from the center, or you know, from in between the pears, and gives you a realistic view of your head space for your jars. So it's the process, y'all. Boom, boom, through the center. Alright. Then go ahead and pack it. So, gonna come back once we debubbled, and I go ahead and top them off and get them back to my line. Alright, back, so check it. Packed, debubbled, filled up to my line. Exactly where I wanted to be at. And my spot that I found works best for me is right at the top of this, you know, right at the top of the line, not at the bottom, for me at least, right to the top. But for, you know, read your instructions. That's where I like to set mine at though. So now we're ready to put them lids on. Now, putting them lids on, it's possible that while you were putting them pears in there, you got all type of pear juice, you know what I mean, all around, on top of the rim and all of that. So I like to do, I take a scoop of my nice hot water right here, and I just literally come in with my finger, even though it's hot. You may want to try a different method. Some people use like a towel and wipe the rims. I use my actual finger, the top and the sides. Just dab my finger in here right quick, boom. Go around the top and then the outsides. Make sure I clear off anything that's right there. Do that for all of them. Boom. And we're ready to start putting them lids on. So, and be careful getting your lids out of this hot water. Put your lid on, come with your ring, and be very delicate. You want these finger tight. So when you put this lid, this ring on, literally you can take one finger and come tickle that thing. Boom. Let it spin until boom. Till a light finger doesn't turn it anymore. That's all you need. You don't want to tighten these down real tight on here. And that's what allows your jars to actually seal properly. So take your lid, place it right on top. Try to make sure it's nice and centered. You come with that ring. So that's lined up, the threaded on, and literally finger tight, and I stop. You can even use a pinky if you want to, you know what I'm saying? But if you over tighten, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have problems with your can sealing. Look at that, come with that pinky. Let it turn, boom. That's it. So we're gonna get the rest of these on, and we're gonna drop them all in the water bath, back to back. Look at that, boom, that's it. That's all you need. Finger tight. You know what I mean? So that don't mean come and use your fingers and twist it on as hard as you can. That means I got a finger. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Nice easy turn, and it stops turning. That's finger tight right there. Once it stops turning, don't push it no further than that. Boom. Alright, so where we at now is we're taking these. These are still hot. These got hot pears and juice in it. Be careful when you lifting them up to not disturb the lid exactly where you put it on. And we're gonna drop these into the canner. Boom. And you can see them lids bubbling. That mean they sealing. I mean they starting to seal. They're letting the excess air in the can out. Boom, look at that. That's what you want to see when you drop it in. You want to see air bubbles coming from the lid. Alright, then once you get them in, you want to check your water level, about 1 to 2 inches. I think where I'm at is fine, so I'm gonna leave it. Yeah, I think I'm fine. So after that, you want to bring these up to a nice boil, and for these pears, lay it on, give them 20 minutes. So alright, so we got our 20 minutes in. We go ahead and turn that eye off. You know what I mean? Turn the eye off. Let that water stop bubbling some. Give it a second, and make sure you already have you a nice area. Like I said, whether it's a towel or you can even use cardboard that your jars came in, whatever it is. You want to make sure your jar's not burning up your countertop or something, or you know, nothing like that. So let that water subside a little bit, and then go ahead and start pulling them out. And then when I pull them out, I do a slight tilt. Whatever's on the top of the jar can, you know, that water can run off. Set it to the side. Yeah. that slight tilt. I don't know if y'all actually caught the first and second one, so I'm gonna do it again for y'all. Lift it up, that slight tilt, let that water run off the top of that lid. Boom. Y'all seen that? And got one popped. Sealed. And once you pull them out, boom. Yep, see, they should start popping for you. And now, boom. Hopefully y'all can hear that on the camera. Boom. They popping. It's popping. Try not to mess with these rings too much right now. But yeah, y'all. Hopefully y'all hear they snapping. So that when you hear that, that's when they seal. So they popping. I'm gonna leave these here. Let them cool here overnight. Hopefully they all seal nicely. If they don't, you can throw them back in the water bather, you know, for another 10-15 minutes. But I'm banking on all of these sealing. So that was my full process for jarring up, canning up some pears. Alright, we're good, y'all. So we back the next day and we done. You know what I mean? We got all 8 of them sealed up nice. They cool now. You know what I mean? So I can pick them up, touch them. All good. 100% success rate. So we all good. You know what I mean? Now, pretty much want to get you a permanent marker and go ahead and label your lids with the date. You know what's actually inside the jars, and you should be good. So that's pretty much it for this video. Just helps you out at all, go and leave a like. If you got any questions, hit up that comment box, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, squad.